Thank you very much. Pujya Mohan Rao ji, Ashok Singhal ji, Bhaiya ji, Swami Vigyananand ji, and so many of Swamis and Gurus here, esteemed colleagues on the dais, and a wonderful, wonderful audience. You have been great. All the delegates, my pranam. Seven wonderful conferences, uplifting reports, and I want to salute all of them who have done monumental work in the last 2 days. When I heard about 7 conferences simultaneously, just like many of you, I arrange plenty of international conferences. I did not know how these 7 conferences would be held, but I am in total awe. They seamlessly were very, very well organized, logistics, all kinds of arrangements. I want to thank all of them, and kindly do join me. I know that your hands are tired. These are uplifting reports, and mine is a grim tale. Grim tale because my session was on human rights violations of Hindus around the world. I won't name countries. We discussed all of them. And there are numerous. And violations are egregious. And the voice of Hindus still is pretty feeble. And that was the one very distinct message that came across. I cannot put a positive spin on it because it is a grim tale. So despite that grim tale, and it not simply the present, but also the baggage of history, Romas, Yazidis, and many, many centuries. And so despite all that, I think there was a ray of hope, and this is a tale of 2 cities, from The Hague and from Washington, D.C., and 2 wonderful initiatives by young people who have decided that they, on their own, as individuals, spending their own money, sacrificing their own time, giving up their own careers, but that they are going to fight for Hindu rights all over the world. And I want to salute them. In Holland, working with the European Union, these young people have done wonders. Similarly, in Washington, they have now been able to reach the decision makers in the Congress. I want to simply leave a couple, 3 messages for you. One is that we have not looked at human rights issues very seriously. We have said, where are the duties? We have said, these are the rights that were created by the West and used as a big kind of step forward on their part, but trying initially to coerce the Soviet Union in ideological struggle. And then recently, what has happened is that it has been used as a tool against the developing countries. And both of those criticisms are valid. But I think the message that came out from this session was that human rights is an idea that is a very strong and powerful idea. We cannot ignore it. It is a medium that's being used at the present time all over the world. It has inspired people. Duties are the other side of that coin. Human rights are beyond the human rights movement. Human rights movement began, as you remember, after the Second World War, the Nazi atrocities in Europe, and a demand that a new world order that is going to be created in order to ensure that there is international peace and security, to ensure that if we can eradicate war and violence, we ought to do that. But at the same time, at the foundation of all that is a human being, human dignity, human rights. And that human rights and international peace and security, they are closely intertwined. You can't separate them. And therefore, in the UN Charter, human rights in Article 1, Article 55, Article 56, and then at the very core of it all, human dignity. And I think who else but Hindus have that from the very beginning of time. I won't again recite all those shlokas. I'm not that well grounded in Sanskrit. But I think the point simply is that we do not want to leave human rights discourse simply to the West, to be used as a tool in order to oppress people. We need to have our own imprint. We don't want simply to be put emphasis on rights. Let's talk about duties as part of that rights struggle. Let's look at that human rights in a different kind of setting. Yesterday, after the meeting, a couple of my distinguished colleagues said it was pretty negative. I said, well, violations are negative. You can't put a positive spin on those violations. What you can do is find what effective means can be taken. Effective means at the present time are being taken by those young people in Washington and young people in the Netherlands. And I asked people, and we had more than 200-300, it was a house full. And I said, how many of you think about human rights as human rights, have done anything about it in terms of decision makers or anywhere? And there were 4 hands out of those 300. So the answer given yesterday was that individuals are doing that work, individuals are fighting for that cause, but the time has come that as institutions, we look at human rights not as a discourse to leave it for the West, but as a discourse that is ours, that we ought to own it, that we ought to have our own leadership in it, that we ought to tell others what rights mean and what duties mean. And so that is the message that came out of that particular session. They had given me a little extra time, so I do want you to know that I'm not violating human rights of everyone here. I have 2 more minutes, as it tells me, and I'll conclude in that. So what happened in that session is that once we had gone through all that and the message that we ought to have institutional support, then there was a thought that now that we have the government here, and we don't want to rely simply on the government, because today is a day of civil society. This civil society. No better society than this civil society. And I want you to know that the talent we have, that the skills we have, that the dedication that we have, that the spirit we have, a combination of that is absolutely impossible for anyone to challenge us. And I think I want you to know that I look forward to the day when not simply in Washington, not simply in The Hague, but in Delhi, in Mumbai, in many of these cities where in the present we have and our institutions have started some think tanks, started work on intellectual issues, started work on media. Now I'm going to request them, and who the heck am I to request them? I think I'm simply a servant and a soldier. But I do hope that our own institutions take the issue of human rights seriously. Young people who came here, I'm so glad that they talked about human rights, but they need to know that grim story has to be changed. Washington, if one American anywhere is hurt, is injured, is taken a hostage, is beheaded, the entire country is awake. Today, from Kashmir to Bangladesh, to Romas, to Sri Lanka, Malaysia, how many Hindus and how many Hindu women and how many Hindu temples have been suffering? We can't take it anymore. We need to fight it. We need to work at it. And institutions need to take it, not simply individuals.